Yo, what's going on, guys? Trey back again here to bring another video. This one's going to be a review for UFC 145, Jones versus Evans. Specifically the main fight, because reviewing the rest of the card was kind of like, this was really one of those UFC cards that I don't like too much because they have a big fight, so they put on, the big fight, whatever it is, title fight. Or it could be like Brock Lesnar against Reem or something like that. Every once in a while they'll do this. And then because it's such a big fight, they'll just surround the rest of the card with like no-name guys or guys that aren't too big or aren't even close to title contention, this kind of stuff. And in my opinion, this was kind of a crappy card because you had the main event, which was really good, which everybody wanted to see for a long time. But aside from that, you had really nothing else. I mean, you look at the card, look up and down. There's really nothing else on this card that's really, there's hardly any big names. Pretty much Jones and Evans, that's it. Everybody else, maybe Rory McDonald's a fairly big name. But other than that, really nothing to say about the others. So it comes to the main event. Exciting fight. Was a really, really exciting fight, I thought. Was really cool. The first, I think about the first 3 rounds were pretty competitive, pretty exciting, and then we just started to see Evans just kind of get worn down and kind of just, stop throwing as much and just kind of back off and really didn't do too much. Became a little complacent in the late 3rd, 4th, and 5th round. So once again, Jon Jones able to implement his style using his lankiness and just the best shots he gave during the whole fight were pretty much those elbows that he threw. He can get a lot of torque because the distance from the top of his shoulder to his elbow is so long compared to most people. Like most people, when you throw an elbow, you only have this much distance to throw it from. But Jon Jones, his arm is probably like if your arm's outstretched, his arm is probably like let's say maybe out here somewhere. So the distance from his shoulder to his elbow is probably like this long. So Jon Jones throwing an elbow is almost like a normal man throwing a punch because that's how long his reach is. So, and of course your elbow is a huge bone, and it's got obviously with a really skinny guy like Bones, it's really sharp. So when he throws that, even if he throws it like from the inside or it doesn't matter which way he throws it, he can get a lot of torque on it because he's got such length there that he can swing it with and get a lot of kinetic energy and really torque it. You saw that huge gash near the end of the fight on Evans. And that was definitely from an elbow. Other than that, did he land a lot of? He threw a lot of kicks, since unorthodox kicks, that kind of stuff. It wasn't really clear to me if he really landed any that really did a whole lot of damage. It was mostly just the elbows did a lot of damage. He landed some good punches, some good shots. Nothing too heavy, nothing too hard. And other than that, that was pretty much the fight. I mean, what did Evans land? Maybe want to say like one right hook in the or overhand right in the 3rd round, and in the 2nd round he landed half decent head kick, half decent because it wasn't like flush or anything. It hit him kind of like right here, like kind of on the neck, because he's just so tall. Like throwing kicks against a guy that's that much taller than you, really head kicks doesn't really make sense because you're going to be kicking up like that. So, even if you've got good flexibility in your groin and you can lift your leg up that high, you still like to get enough energy to come around with it, and cross it. It's going to be really hard. You're going to end up like sort of what happened there, putting that foot up and just kind of having it just kind of hang there because the guy's so damn tall, So it's just kind of hard to get up over that shoulder, when a guy's that much taller than you, unless you've got just amazing flexibility and have thrown, roundhouse kicks your whole life, that kind of stuff. But other than that, a guy like Rashad, who's primarily started as a wrestler and learned all the other skills later, it just wasn't going to work out. So I thought Rashad put on a good performance, maybe as best as he could have done against Jones. I mean, we're talking about Rashad's frame, minus the extra muscle he puts on, is probably a 185 frame. And for him to fight at 205, yeah, he probably feels better because he doesn't have to cut down as much, and he can keep all that, muscle and bulk and, his size on him, his chest, his shoulders, everything. And he's in really good shape for 205, but he probably could fight at 185. He really could. If he just lost some of that muscle, maybe just did more cardio instead of weight training, he could get down to 185, I think, pretty easily because he's a really small, light heavyweight fighter. And then Jon Jones, on the other hand, is like a heavyweight fighter. So, whatever. It was a decent fight. It was good. But it kind of makes the light heavyweight division pretty boring because who's going to beat Jones? I mean, the guy is just so dominant, has been so dominant. Like, who's going to do it? Dan Henderson is going to probably be next in line for the title shot. And he's older, so he's not as fast as Rashad. Is he going to be able to get in on Jones? He's not going to be able to take him down. He's got the H bomb, but is he going to be able to time that and land that? I don't think so. It's just so easy for Jones to throw jabs and stay on the outside. You're always punching up. All these guys, they have to punch up at Jones. You know what I mean? And because of gravity and everything, you just don't get as much force as when someone like Jon Jones can rock 'em, sock 'em robots just punch down at you the whole fight. It's a lot easier for him. So unless a guy can get inside on him, avoid those elbows, and land some good shots, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to beat him. You can't really take him down. I mean, the guy's pretty damn close to unbeatable at this point. So, man, kind of makes the light heavyweight division pretty boring. Well, what's going to happen after he fights Hendo? He's going to have beaten everybody. So who are they going to have him fight? I mean, I really don't know. Maybe we'll see something like, maybe that would be a good time. Have Jones beat Hendo, which is probably what's going to happen, and then maybe move up to heavyweight, because if he beats Hendo, who else is there for him to fight at 205? If there's any other good opponents you guys can think of at 205 that should face him, feel free to write in the comments. But otherwise, I can see him going up to heavyweight. Maybe if Anderson Silva wins his next fight, they could put on like a super fight, which they don't seem to want to do ever. But I'd like to see the UFC put on some super fights. Get that GSP versus Anderson Silva fight done. Get the Anderson Silva versus Jon Jones fight done. I think that would be exciting and interesting. Other than that, I'm not really too interested in seeing anybody else fight Jones at this point, because I just don't think anybody can beat him or even come close to beating him. Rashad's obviously, I think, number 2 at light heavyweight. I think he'd beat everybody else there is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys thought about the fight. I thought it was a good fight, but it's just unfair. Jon Jones is just too damn good, and he's just too big for that division. Like, I don't even know how he's so skinny he's able to get down to 205, but he's got a heavyweight frame, so he's got such an advantage over all these other guys. Man, kind of fun, but kind of sucks at the same time. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about it later. Peace.